In this video, we're going to finish the setup of our store here as far as getting the bones together. So the first thing we're going to want to do is to get a theme to put on it. Right now, this is the theme that we see. We want something better than that. We need to go and find one that has something to do with our subject matter. Now you can either pay for a premium theme, or you can go and look for one of the many free themes. Okay, so let's go to Google, and then we'll put in here free tablet WordPress. Okay, we can try this one here. Free WordPress themes tablet, and see if we get anything here. So now what you need to do is go through and see if you can find one that works for you, that you like, and that has something to do with your subject matter. Okay, so after some searching around, I found this one here. So this is the one I'm going to download and use. So usually there's a download link somewhere on the site you're at. Just use that. Here it is here. I'm going to download it to where my other files are. Okay, so I'll paste it in here. Now we go back to our WordPress install here. And then we go to themes. And now we're going to do install. And then we're going to do an upload. And now we browse here to find it. Here it is. Actually, there it is there. Click on that. Click open. And install now. Let's activate it. Now let's have a quick look here. Okay, so that's our theme in there. So let's go back inside here. We got some adjustments we need to do. First, let's go down to settings in general. And you'll see here just another WordPress site. You want to put in whatever tagline you want in here. Okay, so whatever you want in there. And then you want to put in your UTC code or find the closest area to you. Okay, and that's all we need to do in here at the moment. So let's save that. Now let's go to discussion. And we want to turn off everything here. So all these three should be unchecked. And save the changes. Now into posts, do all posts. And delete this garbage post here. And then to pages, all pages, and delete this garbage page. Just move it to the trash. Now we want to go over to plugins and add new. And now we're looking for a plugin called WP e-commerce. Let's do a search here. There it is. So we'll install now. And activate. Okay, so there's just a warning here that there's been a significant upgrade. Okay, now the first thing we need to do is do what it says here, update your active theme. This takes us into the settings here. And then you'll see down the right hand side, advanced theme settings. These are the template files that are used in the shopping cart. Okay, so what we want to do is move the theme files. Well, actually, we should check them all first. So we move template files. Okay, so that moved the required templates into our theme so that everything will work properly. Now, over here, you want an add to cart, so you want to leave that as it is. Hide the add to cart button, no. Whether you want to show product rating, no. Some of these you can decide what you want to do. Show stock availability. You probably don't need to do that because you're a drop shipper. Display fancy purchase notifications. Display per item shipping. We're going to say no because the drop shippers we're going to use offer free shipping and we're going to extend that to our customers. And then we want to add quantity field to each product. Now down here, this is our product page, and this is where you can do some customization. I'm going to leave it at the defaults for right now, and I'm just going to save the changes here. Now, if we go back to general here, you can set your base country. So wherever you are now, you can set that. This is for taxes. Your target market, we're going to select all because the drop shippers we use ship everywhere. How long you want to keep the stock in a cart for? If somebody abandons their cart, the stock will stay in there for whatever you put in here. I like to leave that at 1 day. Okay, hierarchical product category URL. That's just the URL. It'll put the home URL in front of any subcategory URLs. Currency setting, so you want to set what currency you're going to use here. And then how the sign works. And then here's the separators. These are already defaulted to what you need there if you're using US dollars or Canadian dollars or Australian dollars, and etc. Now let's go over to admin. Here you want to put in a store admin email. Any terms and conditions you want to put in here. And then a customer purchase receipt here. So our email address and then the sender's name. And down here is for tracking. So you can put the tracking email steps in here and change anything in here that you want. And we do that in the email buyers on the seller page. So let's save that. Okay, here you need to set up your taxes. Now it's a fairly good tax system here. It's very flexible. So you pick how your tax works here, and then how you want your tax billed here. The defaults here are pretty much right for the US and Canada. And then down here, tax rates. So you add your new rate. Now, what you want to do here is pick your country here. So I'll pick Canada. And then if we want to apply it to all markets or one of the provinces here. So for Alberta, for instance, we do 5% because they just have the GST. And then we pick Canada again. And then we would pick British Columbia, for instance, and you would put their combined rate in here, so 13 or whatever it is. Okay, and you continue like that till you get all your tax rates in. Over here where you want to apply to shipping, but we're doing free shipping. That's all we need here. Save the changes. Now, shipping, we are going to enable free shipping. And then we're going to put this at 0.01. Make sure okay. And then that's all we need to do here. Over to payments. Here's where you're going to set up how you're going to accept payments. I'm just going to go and use PayPal Payment Standard here, so most people have that. You can also just use your test gateway to go through. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the PayPal sandbox for my testing. I click Get It over here beside PayPal, and it brought up over here. Now I'm going to just put Pay with PayPal. Okay, now here you put in your PayPal username so that it points to your PayPal account. And then here, whether it's a live account or a sandbox account, you should test it with the sandbox account first. So go to sandbox. Now, just as a quick side note, the PayPal sandbox is at developer.paypal.com. You can set up a sandbox account in here, and within that you can set up both a buyer and seller account inside your sandbox. That way you can act as both buyer and seller with two different test accounts, and then you can go through the process. And then once you log in here, this is where you create them. So you can create a pre-configured account, that'll do that for you, or you can create an account manually. I'm not going to go through too much of this. It's pretty simple, but basically you create a buyer and seller account. You can view your test accounts you've already set up by clicking Test Accounts here. And as you see here, I have a seller and a buyer account set up. So what I want to do is copy the seller account into my site here. Let's copy it into the username. You want to have IPN on. This is instant payment notifications, and it'll send the information back to your site to update your orders. So you'll need to do that in your live account. I believe that it's already enabled in the test account. Whether you want to send shipping details, so depending on whether you want those details to be sent through PayPal, you set that accordingly. I'm going to leave it as no. An address override. This is if customers have a different address when they check out than they do on their PayPal account. It'll update the PayPal log with that address. Set that as you like. Let's update. Now these are the fields that are sent to the gateway. You need to pick the appropriate PayPal in this case, because we're working with PayPal. You need to pick the appropriate fields. So for first name, we pick first name. This is really going to be straightforward, so last name, last name. Your address field, city field, state field, postal or zip code, and your country field. So as you see, that's very straightforward. Okay, we'll click update. And now our payment gateway is set up through PayPal. Now, if you're using other gateways or more gateways, you set them all up here, but that's all I'm doing right now. Now we need to remember, after we're done testing, to come back in here, put in our live information, and then make sure our IPN is turned on in our live account, and I'll show you that a little bit later. Okay, let's go to checkout now. Here, if you want users to have to register before checkout, I like to leave that as no, because it doesn't force them to go through that step. Enable shipping same as billing, I like to set that to yes. Force users to use SSL, I leave that as no, because we're using PayPal. Okay, down here are our form fields, and you can have them set to display, or whether you want them to display and whether you want them to be mandatory. So you can pick which ones you're going to want here. Now if you're shipping physical products, you're going to really need all of these. Okay, so we'll save the changes. And then we have marketing. There's some things we can choose in here. We can display cross-references, so as the user who bought this also bought these other products. And you see that on Amazon. show share this with social bookmarking, so it has a share this item. Display the how customer found us, so search engine and so on. It creates a drop down, and display a Facebook like. Okay, so you can turn those on if you like. Down here we have the RSS address. This is where people can use our RSS feed to be updated when we add products. This is for the Google Merchant Center. You can sign up for a Google Merchant account, and then you can schedule data feed, and you can use this data feed here. And then Google Analytics, if you want to set up Google Analytics, this is where you put that information in. And we'll save our changes. Now, next we're going to go over to Appearance and Widgets. Now, what we do here is we adjust what we want to see in the sidebar. And if we go over here, let's open this in a new tab here. You'll see that down the side we have some things over here, not particularly what we want. These are the defaults. So what we want to do is come over here and remove everything out of here. We can leave the search there, but everything else should come out. Okay, now we can add other widgets. Now, the plugin has added some things for us here. We have price range, product categories, product donations, product specials, product tags. So we can put some of these in. I like to put in product categories. So we'll drop that in there. And what we want to do is show all categories. So we just leave everything unchecked. Just save that, and we'll close. And then I also put in the tags. I put in product tags. You're welcome to change them however you like. I'm going to actually just change this to, I'll just say tags. Or maybe I'll say find more here. Save. And you can also change the title here too. We can just say categories. And save. We'll close both. And I'm also going to add the latest product widget. I'm going to put this right under the search. And you can have the number of product to show, and that defaults to 5, but you can increase that. Okay, so that's good for now. Now let's go and have a look. Let's open a new tab again. Okay, now we don't have any products in, but this is what we see now: latest products, categories, and find more. Okay, so we got some setup to do there, but not quite yet. And then you'll see that we don't have a home page yet. So let's go to Settings, Reading, and we want a static page, and then we will select the products page. I'll save changes. Now let's go have another look. Okay, and here it says product page, so let's go and edit here. Okay, now what we can do is we can put an intro above here. So let's go over to the text here, and then let's put a space in here and just put a couple letters in, just so we don't accidentally delete over that. Now let's go back to visual, and you'll see now that we have a space here where we can start editing above this image. You don't want to take this out of here. This performs a lot of function for you, so just leave it in. So here you can put your welcome to Tablet Town. And then whatever you want to say here. Okay, so do a lot better job than this. You should bring in maybe your logo and use some fancier fonts and whatnot. This is just a demonstration, so we're not going to do too much with it. Okay, so the next thing you might want to do is change the product page. So we could say whatever you want here. Okay, let's update. Okay, and then you should just go back to settings and make sure that we go back to reading. Okay, just make sure that took, and then just save changes. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is start talking about products. So the first thing we want to do is decide on what categories we want to sell in our store here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up tablets. And then down here, whether it is a parent of something or not, you put a description in here if you want. Down here, if we have an image we want to use, this is where you would put the image in. The catalog view. Now, unless you upgrade to a paid version, then that's all you can use here. A thumbnail size, you can put that in here. And then your target market. We'll just select all. Okay, and then require any more fields, which we don't. And if we need to use the billing address to calculate shipping, normally that's the shipping address. So we'll add that. And we have our first category. Now let's get rid of this one that was put in by default. And then we'll put in here accessories. And then we can just leave everything the way it was and add. Now we can expand on this later when we go and get our products that we're going to sell. So at the moment we'll just start with that. While we're here, let's get rid of this annoying thing up here. Just click here and it'll get rid of that box. Okay, now when we go and look at the site, you'll see down here we have our accessories and our tablets. Now clicking on those is just going to give us a blank because of course we don't have any products in yet. And that's what we need to concentrate on now. So now let's go look at one of our dropship sources.